What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum, and you probably have seen the news by now, but 2024-25 Prizm NBA is officially out now. And yes, you probably have seen some of the cards via social media or breaks or eBay listings, but this set is officially out now. And as I've done in past years, I figured I would run through some of my first impressions regarding the checklist, the design, the photos, that type of stuff. So that's my goal for this video today. So let's go ahead and start with that checklist that I mentioned, because before all of those eBay listings and some of these YouTube breaks showed up, that was really all we had to go off of. So you can access the checklist by looking at the Panini website. I was pretty surprised this time around to see that the checklist was 270 total cards, as opposed to the 300 that we get in most years. It seems like every year Panini's trying to up the print run, so it was really surprising to see that they cut the base set down. In fact, in the past, I've suggested they up the base set to 400 cards because that would allow them to increase the overall print run while also limiting the number of parallels. That doesn't seem to be what's happening here. In fact, we've got more parallels than ever. I don't know an exact amount. I've heard 85, I've heard 87. You know, the difference between the two, we're just splitting hairs at this point. There are a ton of parallels in this release. I'm not going to talk about those much. I'm kind of paralleled out. At some point, we have to reach a breaking point, though, because you can only have so many patterns and colors. I feel like a rainbow should feel attainable from the start, and we're getting way beyond that point. But I digress. Anyway, that checklist has 270 cards, and there were some odd choices on there like Derrick Rose and Jay Crowder, neither of which was on an NBA roster on opening night. In fact, Derrick Rose retired in September, so I know they have to be kind of speculative about rosters because they're printing this stuff ahead of time. But with as late as this set's coming out, it's kind of a bummer to see a retired player in the set or to see guys in there that didn't even have NBA contracts. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the design of this set, and I've seen people describe it so far as a mix between a couple of years. I've seen people say 2013 and 2018. I think that's pretty accurate. If you look at the rookie cards, they've gone back to the cropped backgrounds where there's really nothing behind them, not even that curtain or anything else, so that kind of reminds me of 2017. On paper, I think this is a design that will work well for the veteran photos, but I'd like to see the shine of the cards in hand. My guess is they're going to be kind of dull like the last few years, even though the dimples are back, and I think that's the key to the shine, right? It should help atone for that a little bit, but I don't know if it's going to be able to fix it overall. I want to close today with the most disappointing aspect of this whole set for me, which is the photography. And I guess I should start with the one photo that I feel like they got right, and that was the LeBron James card. You've probably seen it already, but it's another chalk toss image. You know, at some point that's probably going to get played out, but I don't think we're quite there yet. We've seen it in different iterations, you know, with the Cavs on cards. It's nice to have one with the Lakers as well. I think it's a good picture overall, and I actually looked it up. It's from a Hawks game in Atlanta in 2024. Unlike Hoops, where we saw a lot of guys that were pictured with their old teams as far as signings and trades went, most of the traded guys have media day photos at least, and that's not all of them necessarily. Like Julius Randle has a media day photo, but Dante DiVincenzo has a Knicks photo, which is kind of strange because they were in the same trade. So that doesn't apply to every single player, but for the most part, the guys that have switched teams have photos in those new jerseys. They're not game shots necessarily, but at least they are the new jerseys. That's something we've seen in past Prizm years as well. Mind you, that was when Prizm was coming out in like November. The rest of the photos in this set, in my opinion, are just downright awful. The problem is the majority of them are dribbling or passing photos, and they're kind of zoomed in, not to the level of 2014 Prizm, but you don't see a lot in the background, and they're just pretty boring photos overall. In fact, I was looking at lots of base on Card Hobby, and somebody had a lot of, 30 cards or whatever, and they had them all laid out, and they all looked pretty much the same just because the pictures for all the players are so similar. So that was pretty disappointing to me. I do like to see some variation. I like to see some good action shots. That's not what we're going to get this year. So that definitely brings my opinion of this product down a little bit so far. With that being said, though, this is a product I've ripped in some capacity since its inception in 2012. I won't be opening a lot of it this year, probably just a blaster or two, but I will participate in the whole, Prizm craze nonetheless. And as usual, I'll be chasing the Pacers gold. So now that I've given my quick thoughts today, I'm curious to hear from you. What do you think of the new Prizm? Do you like the design? Do you have additional thoughts about the photo choices? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. Remember, there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And as always, thanks for watching.